Welcome to the show. It's tea with tea. DJ spinning tracks. Got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots. Let the vibes be free. Late night session. Sip that turbo tea. Jamming on the late show. Sing it on TNN. Hope you're feeling bright. Cause we got the vibes so grand. Get cozy and unwind. With tunes that you be man. Tea with pizza spot. The best podcast land. Welcome to the show. It's tea with tea. DJ spinning tracks. Got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots. Let the vibes be free. Late night session. Sip that turbo tea. Jamming on the late show. Sing it on TNN. Hope you're feeling bright. Cause we got the vibes so grand. Get cozy and unwind. With tunes that you be man. Tea with pizza spot. The best podcast land. Hey, good night, folks. It's time to unwind. Think favorite tracks. Leave the stress behind. Welcome to the show. This song was just for you. Tea with peas, your proof. Where dreams is helping you. Jamming on the late show. Sing it on TNN. Hope you're feeling bright. Cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy and unwind. With tunes that you demand. Tea with peas, the spot. Leave the sweet podcast land.
If you're building living soil, Stash Base is your foundation. This is a premium dry soil amendment designed to build nutrient-dense media and support strong vegetative growth right from the jump.
Stash Base isn't just NPK. It's loaded with organic and mineral inputs like calcium phosphate, crustacean meal, kelp, insect frass, rock dust, and biochar. That means macros, micros, and biology all working together.
This is used to build soil and provide nutrition for plants in the vegetative stage. You can mix it into fresh soil, top dress, or side dress. It breaks down slowly with the help of microbes, feeding the soil over time. If you want healthy plants with easy feedings, it all starts with Stash Base.
Available here at Growers House.
I can't believe diamonds so pearls, and I'm gonna take you traveling the world. I'm gonna love you, babe. Cross my heart and hope to die.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you this evening? Welcome back. Welcome back to a little tea with P, baby, where the tea is beer and the P is me. I hope you guys are kicking it fly today because, well, we've got quite the show in store because guess what? We're going to be talking about all things nudes, culture, science, health in our space going on this week. And tonight will not disappoint. Let me tell you, friends, we've got James Loud responding to Todd McCormick. Yes, he speaks out. Todd responds back. We're going to dive into that. We've also got the nose dab smelled around the world. Yes, who would have thought a nose dab makes the nudes? But this is tea with P and nothing's off the table. Has packaging gone too far, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we're going to be talking about that too and everything tonight. So lock in, load your bowls, and let's get ready to have some fun. It's tea with P, where the T is rum and the P is me. Baby, let's get high. Mrs. P, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm ready to have a great show.
You threw me off with the tea, the rum.
The tea is rum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look at this. Look at how I started the show, Mrs. P.
Oh.
Look what I did.
So you need another one? Is that what you're telling
Look
me?
what I did, Mrs. P. I can't believe I did this right off the gate. Right out of the gate. Unbelievable. Our assistant, I fired Alfred months and months ago. And I haven't been able to make it without him ever since. Good to see everybody. Thank you to those watching over on YouTube. Shout out to everybody who's watching over on Twitch. We managed to get the simulcast or the restream pumping, so we're on both platforms. And after Tea with P, we're going to be live exclusively on Twitch for the after show. You ain't gonna want to miss this, boy. So lock in. Let's have some fun. We've got some nudes to talk about, and we got some herb to toke. T, thank you for the membership, dude. Gifted membership. Oh yeah. Tasty Genetics. Good to see you, friend. Good to see you, friend. Smokey's here. John Lindsay in the building. Great to see you. Botanic over on Twitch. R-Dog pulling in hot. Wilson, good to see you, friend. Lieutenant Blazer with the gifted sub from T. Let's go. Double A. Dwarven Forged. Hope I said that right. Probably did not. Disbanded Brotherhood. Good to see you, friend. Thanks for pulling up, man. Night of the Living Soil. Thank you for pulling up. Crab is here as well. Hey, Fool. Good to see you, Mechanic. Welcome in, brother. Happy belated April Fool's Day to everybody. Happy April 2nd. What is a rat gonna say? Eek, eek, eek. Oh, rubber knees. I see what you did there. Welcome to the flock. The first tech noob. I said that perfectly. Thank you for joining. Well, I appreciate you. Welcome in. Thanks to everybody for coming in, guys. I'm just making sure I got all the chat skis pulled up nice and loud. Huge shout out to Mr. ROB CLTV for pulling up and raiding over on Twitch. Fantastic, dude. I thank you. I appreciate you. Huge shout out to my boy, Mr. Swank Genetics, who has got a drop happening ... at any given moment ... You guys already know where to go. If you don't, well, you got to get your name on an email list. Can't even tell you where to go because we're on YouTube. And if I told you, it could be the end of my total existence. So we just can't let that happen. Pretty awesome. There's as many people watching on Twitch as there are on YouTube, man. Pretty dang awesome. Default, how you doing, girl? Good to see you. Tazarello is here too. Taz, good to see you, friend. Oh, is that Dr. Dank Nugs over there too, brother? Good to see you too, friend. Appreciate you for swinging by. Chris, good to see you, friend. Thank you for being here, man. Chapo is in the building. Chapo, good to see you, brethren. Good to see you, brethren. Shout out to my boy, Mr. The Northern Scrogger. I believe he is live right now on our sister channel. He's live right now. Shout out to the Northern Scrogger doing his thing. Well, the thing's to be done. Good to see him doing it. Got a question for everybody this evening. What are you smoking on? Eh? Twitch has Pokemon and is better, Fap says. Can't disagree.
My niece would agree.
Yeah, right? Yes, I cashed a bowl that had absolutely no weed in it. It's a completely clean bowl. Screen, everything, nothing. Cashed it out just in case, okay? Just in case. Oh, so Snippa says probs just confirm aliens exist? Yeah, probably. Dude, anything to avoid releasing the Epstein files. Aliens.
Oh, corrected himself to say pigeons.
Pigeons just confirmed aliens exist.
What'd you say while I was gone?
Well, I don't know. Might have got myself in some trouble.
I mean, I know you and Rob kind of dove into it last week, but
yes, we did. And if you guys happen to have missed out on that, we dropped a little Tea with P over on Tea Time with P. Tea Time with P is where you're going to find all the interviews that you no longer see here live. Okay. They're live and they're still happening. In fact, we've got a conversation happening tomorrow that's going to be airing Monday on Tea with P. So stay tuned for that. Very excited. Very excited. Also, guys, if you happen to miss any of the videos or the stories or the whatever is going on over here, because usually it's a 2-hour show and it's live, if you happen to miss anything, you can catch all the best moments and highlights over on Daily Tokes and Trends. Check that out, Daily Tokes and Trends. That's where you're gonna find all the stories and everything. Snippet. It's not the exact same content. I edit it, I change it up, I add some overlays. It's a little bit diff, but it's a little more clean. So if you want to check that out, go check it out. We actually just passed 420 subscribers. Because
440.
I know. I was gonna get there, but it's more exciting when I say 420.
Sorry.
But let me. I actually took a little photo. When we did hit it, take a look at this, friends. Look at that. Okay, see that? Tokes and Trends, 420 subscribers.
That's awesome.
Right there.
You would catch that.
I did. Yeah, I did. So I had to. I took a little snippet picture so we wouldn't miss it. Some are just some channels are just, some numbers are just worth celebrating. Mm-hmm. Subbed up. Thanks, Dr. Dank Nugs. I appreciate that, brother. Shout out to you and the crew, man. Talking about the P being zapped, as he stated. 51 likes. Hit that like button. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. If you hit the like button, it helps YouTube algorithm send this to people who might think that it's entertaining. Lets people know that people are watching and they enjoy the show. So hit the like button. Do me a favor because we've got a ton of nudes to dive into. So without further ado, let me just toke on this very family-friendly, documentary-style, non-glamorized hoot. Cheers. All right. So before we get into the nudes, I do want to give a little drop to the socials. If you guys want to follow the nudes, follow the conversation, head on over to X at Pigeons420. It's where I get a lot of my nudes from. It's where I keep dialed in. It's where I have a lot of the conversation from. Also, you can find me over on Instagram at Pigeons420. If you don't believe I grow and you think it's AI, well, this won't help you decide. Head on over to Instagram at Pigeons420. You can check out the garden over there. Also, as I mentioned, we're live right now over on Twitch. If you enjoy conversations about weed, if you enjoy getting high, if you enjoy just chilling and relaxing and watching a little bit of gaming, come check it out. Every Sunday we do Wake and Bakes, where we go into Discord. Come on over to Discord too. We got tons of fun places for you to be. We go into the Discord, we check out people's gardens, we we smoke about it, and we just check out what everybody's got growing on. Shout out to Chaotic Genetics and my really nice hat. Yeah, hit the Discord, guys, because you can document your grow, you can journal it, and other people can follow along at the same time. So come join the Discord, friends. Our Discord was deleted. That had a few thousand peeps in it. Now we've got a few hundred. It's kitchen party vibes. I absolutely love it, and I don't think you guys will miss it. I don't think you guys will want to miss out. So come and check it. Pigeons, what's up, brother? Happy to catch a live. Holy Toledo. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see everybody for pulling up, man. Jester Grows, good to see you. Chairs. I think without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get into the tea.
Canna News. All things culture, science, and health. Your one-stop shop for all things Canna News.
Boom. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your one-stop shop for all things nudes, culture, science, health in the cannabis space. Nothing is off the table. Like to have conversation and I like to normalize cannabis, and I think the best way to do that is to talk about it. So that's what we're doing. This is a community-based show. We are dream-driven and crowd-funded. So if you have anything that you would like to participate in or have us comment on or look into, you can either leave it in the comment section here, hit me up over on X, or you can hit me up while I'm live over on Twitch. But I really depend upon you guys to bring forth the stories that are important to you. I can always bring forth the stories that are important to me, but I think it resonates best when it's a collaborative effort. So I look forward to that. The first story that we have in the nudes today, ladies and gentlemen, is James Loud responds to Todd McCormick. Just to give you the TLDR, Todd McCormick received a cease and desist order from James Loud. And in return, he made a video about it. He made a video about the entire case involving James Loud in 2014. He included the fact that now James and his legal team are now asking for Todd to stop discussing the arrest and the fact that he could potentially be a snitch. Now, Todd made a video about that, and that video got quite a bit of attention. And in fact, Todd went on to further claim that the information that he has been stating, which wasn't like he was, through his own words, it wasn't like he was out championing this information. He mentioned it in an Instagram comment, and then in return received the cease and desist order. You can believe what you like, but the reality is the facts remain that James sent Todd a cease and desist order for speaking about an incident in which James was involved in 2014. As we looked into in the show, James was arrested in 2014 for the distribution of, quote, fake Xanax pills. It was 40,000 fake Xanax pills. In return, he did 3 years of house arrest with 3 years of probation. Todd simply points out the fact that he sold the 40,000 pills and was busted, and then states, or at least concludes, that anyone with that significant of an arrest or bust should be looking at jail time. And if they didn't do jail time, what did they do to decrease the odds of spending time in prison? Well, through the publicly available information, it specifically states that Mr. James Loud, I'm going to say Loud for the sake of the story because I can't pronounce the last name, quote, cooperated with law enforcement or the prosecution, sorry. Now, what cooperation means, I feel, is left to be interpreted. It doesn't say that it does not say that he gave information. It does not say that he ratted, snitched, or otherwise. It simply says he cooperated. And so Mr. McCormick kind of alludes to the fact that that might mean that he snitched. That's kind of the TLDR. I reported on the story not because James Loud was arrested in 2014 for selling 40,000 fake Xanax pills. I didn't report on the story because he was alleged to be a snitch. I reported on this story merely on the fact that there was a cease and desist order sent from the Loud legal team. That's a hell of a name, actually, the Loud legal team. From the Loud legal team to Todd McCormick. And I felt that suppression and that use of legal effort just seemed like it was a little overkill for public information. That was really the story. That's kind of what I felt. I don't blame a guy for his past. Could care less, In fact, it's 10 plus years since then. And quite frankly, I'll be straight. If somebody snitched on somebody who's distributing 40,000 fentanyl or 40,000 fake pills or what have you, I'm not entirely sure I'm totally against something like that. Merely in the fact that, what do these people have? Do they have any loyalty to each other? Do they have any kind of bond or relationship that extends past this? Would you assume that the other person would not do the same thing? All these sorts of things. Now, a snitch is a snitch is a snitch. However, I feel that there could be some context applied to this. Lost a good homie to fentanyl. Really good. I've lost a couple good homies to fentanyl. Perhaps somebody who had snitched another guy for the delivery of these, maybe my homies would still be alive. That's my point. You can disagree. You can at me at Pigeons420. The point of my story was that he sent a cease and desist order. Todd and James used to chum. They used to kind of be cool with each other. And then they sent a cease and desist order. Well, after many posts from Todd McCormick, James Loud responds with an Instagram video. And it goes like this.
I think that's the best I can do.
The situation with Todd McCormick. He's made repeated public statements about me that are false. I attempted to resolve this privately, but it wasn't respected. So now I'm taking formal action to protect myself and my business. Guys, I'm not engaging in online drama. My focus is on what we built and the people and families that work for us who depend on our business being successful. I take that responsibility very, very seriously. I have full ownership of my past, including a 2014 arrest for the possession of alprazolam, generic Xanax, a Schedule IV drug. I didn't cooperate against anybody, and any claims otherwise is false. I never possessed or distributed fentanyl. A basic online search of the first time fentanyl was laced in Xanax was 2 years after my arrest. This matter is now being handled through proper legal channels. I appreciate the continued support as we stay focused and move forward. Have a great day.
So that's James's statement. The only real problem I have with that, it's very obvious either A, it's written by a legal team, he's reading it, you can see him reading it, and whatever. When you're involved in something like this, I see a lot of criticism on people saying that he's reading it and so on and so forth, and that's a problem. But the reality is that when you're involved in a legal matter like this, the things that you say and the way that you portray yourself and so on and so forth are important, and they matter. So it does make sense to me that he would read something from a legal team. But with that being said, I'm not a lawyer. I really have no skin in this game whatsoever. But through his own words, he specifically said that he didn't cooperate against anyone. I don't know exactly what that means. I think he's referring to snitching and that he didn't snitch on anyone. But I think it's interesting that he used the word cooperated. I didn't cooperate on anyone. I think he misspoke. However, we'll take his words for face value. The publicly available information specifically says, can you bring it up, Mrs. P? The
Oh God.
Yeah, it's in the messages that I have.
In the messages on Instagram?
Yeah. It specifically says he cooperated. The words cooperated are in the papers. It says that in his file. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that I think he misspoke when he said cooperated, but I'm not certain. Again, if he was reading this and it was provided by his legal team, the words are very, very purposeful. And I'm not sure. Maybe in my thick skull I fully understand the difference here, but it's an interesting statement. And I think that I'm not sure it kind of answers everything. However, with that being said, Todd responded to James's video with a video of his own.
I can't find them.
Well, we can find it after. It's in my messages, but I don't want to say from messages from who.
No, I know.
Good morning, friends of truth. I had a friend just send me a video of James Loud calling me out, saying that he has an issue with Todd McCormick. He has no issue with me. I have never been part of his crimes. I have never been part of anything he was doing. He tried to defend me back in 2013, and then 2014 got busted selling fake Xanax with the Xanax King. And I immediately stopped hanging around him, told him to go fuck himself, because I think he's a POS. And I have nothing to do with him or his long, sordid history. We all stand on our reputations. We all have a resume. That's the reason we do the right thing. That's really why I went to prison, because I knew a long time ago that if I did something I would regret, I would have to live with that regret for the rest of my life. And I didn't. Instead, I showed up to prison on time to go to prison. That's not what other people have done. And James Loud talking about me because he doesn't want us talking about his public case that's in the public news, that was on the news in Oakland, that was on the news in the Bay. That's his problem, not mine. And really, those people, I saw somebody else tag me in a post, he's saying, I stand with James Loud. You're a clown. You're an absolute clown. I used to have respect for you, but now you want to stand with people that literally knowingly ripped off people who were literally at their lowest in their life, selling them fake Xanax. You're POS. Really. I mean, James Loud, if you watch this, go F yourself. I reserve my First Amendment right to talk about whatever I read about in the news. You cannot stop people from talking about the truth. And if you don't like your history, and if you're embarrassed about the things you did, maybe you should have done it differently. So that's my rant for this morning. Peace, everybody.
Yeah. So
I want to mention one thing too from James's video.
Go ahead.
He says generic Xanax. Generic Xanax is essentially just no-name brand Xanax that's cheaper to get as a prescription. in the law or in the case, it specifically says it was fake. So he doesn't even admit that it was fake. He would rather say that he got caught with Schedule 4 drugs than fake drugs.
Right.
Which also makes me question what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Todd makes, again, a very good point. You can talk about these things. And Mrs. P, can you find that file in particular, the case?
Yeah, I'm just going to Google it.
This is public information. You cannot charge somebody for defamation of character if it's true. You're just talking about publicly available information. And that's the reality of it. So unless there's something else involved here, and we saw the sheets, we saw the defamation of character sheets, or the lawsuit, the papers, sorry. So
this is just the article.
Like what else is involved that we don't know about? Because it's like there's a layer here. Something doesn't make sense. And it's not from Todd's side of things. You know, there's people that have brought up, well, you know, Todd's not all that, whatever, dude. None of us are all that perfect. You know, I'm not going to throw rocks from a glass house. You know, I've learned that lesson. The reality is we're not talking about that. I'm talking about this specific incident, this specific case between these two people. Anything else is everything else is just a distraction. And so when I also want to comment on this too, because I had beef with this guy too. And I hate talking about this shit because in reality, I might run into this guy someday. And I probably think he's probably a cool dude. However, he's calling out when Todd says that he gets called out in the comments by somebody that he used to respect that says, I stand with Todd. You know who he's talking about? Mrs. P, can you go first to the James Loud video? And then
you have me doing five things.
Yep.
Okay,
you're really good at it. And then go into the comments.
I never did find the comment when you told me to look for it earlier.
Try again.
Okay.
Try again. Because there was only like many comments?
Was it a comment on a comment or was it its own comment?
No, it was its own.
There's 313 comments.
Oh, now there's 313 comments. Okay, so needless to say, it was the Soil King. The Soil King, I'm going to see if I can find this real quick on my phone. The Soil King made a comment underneath James Loud's video that said, I stand with James Loud. We've all done shit in our past, and you know, how are we to be judged? And I know that he's a good guy, and ... And he rambles and he goes off in this true fashion. And it reminds me of like he's hearing 4 words from a song and then thinking he's got an idea what the song's about. And the reality is that he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue. He's just a disgruntled guy who got a phone in his hands for 40 seconds and then pressed too many buttons and got into the Instagram comment section. So it's kind of frustrating. And the only reason I want to find the one under James Loud's video is because he ends up commenting underneath McCormick's video too, calling him that this is all bullshit, that he has no proof, that he's just making this all up. And McCormick's like, are you serious? Scroll up a little bit. You can see that I posted all the papers. I posted all the facts. And you know what? I wouldn't doubt that the Soil King has removed those comments.
I was gonna say I'm all the way back to
because I've gone all the way back to, and I don't actually
can't find them anymore.
It's not there. So
there we go.
Oh, you did find it?
Yeah.
Fantastic, Mrs. P. Fantastic.
I'm that good.
So the Soil King. I've known now while this is happening. Can you find the one under the McCormick video too? Because he also says something under Todd's video.
No, because it's on the same screen.
You have to do it on the other monitor, my sweet. I've known James for years. At James Loud is a pioneer, no doubt about it.
Oops.
I'm a convict with a convict code in my blood. I don't know what that means. I haven't seen any paperwork that would make me ever think some of the things are being said about James. Factualize it or shut the fuck up. We all have a past that built us that is sloppy. I embrace my past because without it, I wouldn't be the solid motherfucker I am today. I ride shoulder to shoulder with him. Can you scroll down just a little bit? My face is covering it. Yep. just as he's done with me over these years. It's like, holy fuck, Grandpa, give me the phone. Give me the phone. So then underneath Todd's video, this is where he calls him out. He's like, fucking, this is BS and bullshit. And it's like, the Soil King, dude, this is the same thing you did to me. You fucking called me out, called me like fucking names and got personal about shit, when in reality, you didn't have all the information. Part of me thinks we should spend a little less time online and spend a little more time on our own shit and just stay focused and just stay humble and just bulldoze through our own missions, because it's just, I don't understand, A, why we have all this unnecessary infighting. That's the first thing. Why is there unnecessary infighting? Because we're just talking about a story between two individuals, two guys, where one guy sent another guy a cease and desist order over one guy talking about publicly available information. That's it. No reason to curse. There's no reason to call names. It's just like, dude, what is going on? Why do we even have to like get hostile against each other, or even pick sides for that matter? That's the biggest thing. That's what's frustrating. So
No, there's nothing under under Todd's video anymore.
no, there isn't.
No.
There was.
So-
And Todd commented, he's like, what are you talking BS? Why are you talking BS? He literally said, scroll up, and you can see where I've posted the video. I posted the deets, the facts. So my advice to most is like, please try to get your facts before you speak so heavily on the comments.
Is here fully on the internet. I just want to find his part of it, because there were 6 people.
And it says cooperated like a multiple times throughout the paperwork.
This is the full one, so it's gonna take me a minute to find it.
But anyways, to the Soil King and to anyone, it's like, I got nothing against him. Chances are I'm gonna run into this guy someday, and I hope to be able to slap hands and be like, yo, crazy internet drama, dude. Let's smoke a fucking joint, dude. Let's get down. I've been a huge fan of the Soil King for a very long time. I've said this back then, that, like, you know, I've supported him through his own missions, his own charities, his own drives, his own missions. And it's like, I just don't understand why we have to get so personal when we're simply talking about a story that involves 2 dudes and a case, and an unnecessary case. That's the facts. Anything else is unnecessary. So Jester Gross says, P, but why after all these years does he send that to Todd? Is he taking the attention off himself, or is it because Todd's succeeding? I don't quite understand why he was served after all these years. I think they're both very successful. To be honest, we don't need to see this movie. It's fine. I think they're both successful. They're both doing their own thing. They're both, I would, from the outside looking in, have very successful businesses. I don't argue with the fact that they're both pioneers, or like, I think Todd's got some receipts. He's been in this game for a fucking long time. He's been around. He's got the name, everything to prove it, dude. And you think he's one of a kind. James has a great story too. James been doing some shit. I don't know James's story as well, but I've seen him doing his thing. And it's like, I think there's 2 very, very valuable, very worthy characters here. Very, very, very important people. I just think it's unfortunate that it has to involve the law, the lawyers. That's the biggest thing. But that's my opinion. And I'm curious what you guys think, because your opinions mean a lot to me. You know, speaking of meaning a lot to me, guess who's in the chat? Mr. Northern Scrogger is here, dude. Shout out to the Northern Scrogger. And his latest episode over on the Vivo Sun channel, man. If you guys didn't check that out, make sure immediately after this show you go and check that out, okay? Shout out to the Northern Scrogger, man. Appreciate you, brother. Lots of love. Shout out to you and the missus, dude. Can't wait to see you soon. So I'm curious what the community feels about this. Like I said, these are two important figures that are going at it, and I'm kind of curious as to where do you lie? Where do you lie in this? Like I said, I don't know anything about really. I shouldn't say I don't know much about, but I know Todd more than I know James, and so my bias lands in favor of Todd, just simply looking at the facts, the fact that he's speaking his mind. He's got the First Amendment behind him, you know, the right to free speech. He's not lying, or at least not from what I can see. He's speaking on publicly available information. And I think that I think that says it all. And when James takes legal action to suppress that, I can't see how that is justified. I really don't. Particularly because these two used to chum, dude. They used to hang. And then now, what do you know? Now it's legal. So, anyways, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Because this is Tea with P, and this is a two-way street of conversation. Okay? Let me know. I appreciate seeing everybody in the chat. Brady Egg, good to see you, my friend. Can you believe I haven't been using weed for almost 3 months now? Brady Egg, I cannot believe that, dude. You're lying to me, bullface. Jester, you would be the best news anchor. Truth, honesty, brutal freedom of speech. I love it. You guys are awesome. Keep flocking. That's very kind, Jester. I appreciate it. Dude, this is a news show where I like to get high and drink excessively. You know, we only take it as serious as we take ourselves. I just like to have a good conversation. I like to just, you know, breed the ability to have a spot where everybody can come and speak their mind. That's all. You might agree, you might disagree, but at the end of the day, I would hope that we could still enjoy a joint together and speak our mind. You know, I know not everybody agrees with me. I know this for a fact, in fact. And I think I would love to know why. I would like to know why you disagree with me. And if you agree, I want to know why too. Jay Reezy, welcome in. Shout out to everybody who's watching over on Twitch. Love your open forum. Good sir. I appreciate you, Botanic. Thanks, R-Dog, for chilling in here. Doesn't seem like there is any grounds to silence public information. I agree with you, R-Dog. I agree with you. Brino, over on Twitch. Sounds like two grown men posting on the internet about statements that are going to be held in court. Yep. Yeah, you're 100% right. 100% right. If you sue somebody, let's see, this is Fried Piper. 5887. If you sue someone for talking shit, is that defamation for talking defecation? For talking shit? Yeah, I suppose you're right. Defamation for talking defecation. That's pretty good, dude. I like what you laid down there. You should consider hip hop, dude, or country music, bro. Did you smoke that like button? Get sacred. I like that, brother. Thank you. Sup, P? What's up, Juddy? Good to see you, man. Motivated by Terps. What up, fam? I would hate to have bad feelings about someone when it doesn't affect me. Yeah, no kidding. We have no room in our heart for that. So are you just like a news anchor? Yeah, exactly. Stoned and high. Yeah, the difference is it's not cocaine or Adderall. It's weed and alcohol. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for tuning in. This is Tea with P. Were you gonna say something, Mrs. P?
So I have a feeling there's more to this story because as I'm searching for that original court case, there's a new court case as of May of this year involving James Loud.
Oh boy. And?
I don't know all the legal jargon and crap, but it looks like he's suing somebody. Michael Jennings?
Okay.
The timing just seems sus,
A
right?
lot of legalese here. Enhance.
I want to make it full
Put your
size.
cursor over the other part and then enhance it.
No.
Over on their side of the screen.
You know what? Let me just see if I can pull up the full.
Okay. Interesting.
Because now I'm intrigued.
Man, we have more lawsuits. This just in. Time to pack a bowl while Mrs. P does her homework. Well, imagine that. Just a lot of legalese going on.
Because I want to make sure it's
Brina
actually
says,
legit.
this man's out here for a settlement. Well, let's take a look. What's up, Chaotic? Well, imagine that, Grotato. Imagine that. Thank you for everybody for pulling up, man. If you guys would be oh so kind, can you do me a favor and can you smoke that like button for me, guys? It lets everybody know that you enjoy the stream and that you're having a good time, and it just may send the stream out to other people. All right. I saw ICANN in the chat too. Shout out to ICANN. Him and I threw down Epi 2, dudes, over on the Legal News Network. Such an incredible reception to episode 1. Really appreciate you guys. That was really cool. So we threw down a number 2. Let's see if we throw down a number 3. Uh-huh. Yeah? So thank you guys. Anything?
I can't find it anywhere else.
Other than, okay, we'll bring that up.
California Court of Appeals website.
Okay, we'll bring it up and just crop it so we can get it in there. Then we'll have to crop it again later. But, okay, so.
Hang on. I can do this better.
Okay. Okay, love that. Well played, Mrs. P. Well played. Not to be published in the official record. So in the Court of Appeal of the State of California, 5th Appellate District, Kenneth Koskinimini and his team et al., plaintiff and appellant, versus Michael Jennings and his team, defendant and respondent. The appeal from a judgment from the Superior Court of Fresno County, D. Tyler Tharp, judge, Cowitz Benson Torres, Jason S. Tekeneamachi, King and Spall. Wow, woof.
Right?
Okay, that's fine. No, we're good. We're good.
I recognize Planet 13 Holdings.
Oh, okay, so this is, go up a little bit. So this is the defendant. Okay, so the judgment of the Superior Court. Okay, and go down. Defendant. Okay, procedural plaintiff in action in December following defendants and respondents holding company. Plaintiff's complaint alleged 7 causes of action against Jennings: breach of fiduciary duty, conversion, misappropriation of trade secrets, unjust enrichment, fraud violation of the unfair competitions law, and constructive trust. The complaint further alleged 6 causes of action against the NGW defendants: aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, aiding and abetting conversion, misappropriation of trade secrets, unjust enrichment, violation of UCL, and constructive trust. Jennings and the NGW defendants filed, what does that say?
Demurrers?
Yep, demurrers on February 15th.
2022.
This trial court on January 23 sustained the demurrers with leave to amend, realleged the same causes of action against Jennings. Okay. So it looks like they were in an agreement together, and then somebody might have stolen intellectual property. The first amended complaint, the FAC indicates the dispute issued in this case arose from a partnership that Loud and this person and Jennings formed in a relation to seeds for specific strains of cannabis that were developed or engineered by that person when he legally grew cannabis in California for medical purposes. The FAC alleges that the partnership's primary objectives were 1, to publicize and brand that person's seeds, and to legally market the seeds in California. Once adult recreational use of cannabis, quote, in parentheses, and commercial sales, end parentheses, were legalized in the state. The FAC alleges the partnerships intended for the partnership activities to, can you enhance just a little more, please? There we go. Fully comport with applicable California laws. More specifically, the FAC alleges this person and Loud have been at the forefront of California's legal cannabis industry since California's legalization. Okay. Under the regulatory regime, individuals like this person were permitted to obtain. Yep, go down a little bit more. For example, nope, go a little bit down. Proposition, nope. Here we go. Yeah, the FA knows this person selected new genetics first based on the disease resistance, the vigor. Okay. And then the FAC alleges, without specifying a date, up a little bit, that this person and Loud entered into an oral agreement to form a partnership named Loud Seeds. Through the partnership, that person and Loud intended to sell that person's seeds after California legalized adult use recreational cannabis, and only after obtaining the proper licensing from the state. The FAC notes that that person would provide the seeds for the partnership, and Loud would manage its operations. Okay, and that's what they would do. Okay, go down. Brands genetically unique. No, FAC states following the formation of the partnership under the Loud Seeds brand, this person and Loud continued innovating in genetics, creating new genetics such as those genetics. In total, Loud Seeds created a genetics portfolio that included more than 110 genetic types, distinct types, which form the basis of their business and their brand. The FAC reiterates plaintiffs never engaged in for-profit commercial activity on behalf of Loud Seeds. Instead, all effort on behalf of Loud Seeds exclusively were focused on developing the Loud Seeds intellectual property, namely the Loud Seeds brand and genetically unique and proprietary seed strains developed by that person in advance of the legalization of adult use cannabis in California, after which time the partnership could legally monetize and its intellectual property. Okay, go down. Down. The FAC to obtain credibility. Nope, down. 2014 indicted in the High Times. Nope, this is all background information. Okay, so I'm going to go through this. I'm going to have to go through this because I'm literally finding this in real time right now for the purposes of the instruction transaction. I'm assuming the agreement.
Sorry.
I'm assuming the arrangement or agreement fell apart, and somebody is trying to figure out who is entitled to what. That's what I'm assuming. So
I just think that the timeline is sus, that this hit the court, or the document that I found is dated May of this year, right around the time that he issued this. No. Oh, 2025. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
God. Okay, never mind.
Well, it's just last year. It's
I was just thinking it was
similar in time. Like,
I was thinking it was May of this year, right when he issued the cease and desist, and so
no.
it's like it would all kind of go together. But
no, it seems like it's a totally separate, totally separate incident, totally separate case, and it seems like it's in regards to a partnership or agreement that kind of fell through. But that's public knowledge. Please don't sue me.
Can we please talk about something positive the mechanic says?
Maybe let's have a family-friendly documentary style rip that I'm not going to glamorize.
Your Honor, I'd like to request a 5-minute bong hit recess. Yes, granted.
Agreed. Granted.
We love to talk about positive things here. It's just so very, very frequent that it's negativity in the news.
Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about positive things in the news, so we have to bring the positivity.
That's right. That's right. We bring the positivity to the negative news. That's the reality of it. So that's my opinion. We looked at that story. I'll look a little deeper. I'll get the information and kind of see what there is to state on it. I don't really know if it's newsworthy, but I'll dive into it and figure it out. But basic search or an easy search found it for Mrs. P. So if you're interested, please consider diving in. Now, for the story you've all been waiting for.
You sound like the movie guy there.
Eh? That's what I do.
In a land.
The nose down.
Far away.
Heard around the world. A little context real quick, ladies and gentlemen. You would not... Let's just say we've made it, friends. We've made it. Okay? I really wanted to frame this in a way where I could like sarcastically be like, I've got the most disgusting story to tell you. Unbelievable. You're just a disgrace. No. Couldn't frame it in a way that just didn't make me sound like an asshole. However, you want to hear something crazy? You want to hear something disgusting? You want to hear something wild? For the first time ever, cannabis content gets the recognition it deserves through the nose dab. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Koala Puffs, and if you can't tell, she is actually... I have to blur this because we're on YouTube, and in fact I probably can't let it run for too much longer, but the reality is what she's doing is she's actually just trying to, she has a bottle, a vase of potpourri, and she's smelling it. That's good, Mrs. P. Ladies and gentlemen, the queen of cannabis content herself, if I may, Koala Puffs dropped a video of herself doing a nose dab. What is a nose dab? I think you can figure it out. And you might ask yourself, why? You might ask yourself, would I ever do that? But the reality is that she did. And she's not the first, okay? We've reported on nose dabs in the past. She's not the first. But let me tell you, that tweet, can you bring up the tweet, Mrs. P? Has 11 million views. Right click, transform. Yeah. 11 million views. Our girl is doing it and doing it well. I would love to
Props.
tell the quality of content in cannabis right now is amazing. We've got documentary style content. We've got 8K zoomed in, beautiful, just crisp, gorgeous shots. We've got the best mix of like AI forming dabs. But damn it, it's a nose dab that gets the most recognition. Whatever, man. The one thing that I thought was crazy is that the amount of hate that our girl's getting in the comment section, the amount of hate that she's getting. Now, you know, when this hits 11 million people, now whether the views are accurate, I think it's, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. 11 million views. When you get 11 million, that is almost 0.5% of the world's population, which I think is incredible. 11 million people watched that. Of course, you're going to get a lot of hatred, but there's so many people out there saying junkie behavior. Girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? Behind every white female drug addict, there's a black man encouraging it. That's got to be the most racist, fucking degenerate thing I've ever heard in my life. And you're a piece of shit for saying that. It's kind of absurd. It's kind of insane how much hate you're getting. But this is what I gotta say to those people. Get a fucking life. Worry about you, boo, and quit throwing stones from a glass house, because this is quality entertainment. And if somebody wants to do this in the security of their own home where they hurt absolutely nobody, who are you to say otherwise? Of course, it's free of speech and it's freedom of speech. You can say whatever the fuck you want. But the reality is your level of judgment, I think, speaks more about you than her nose dab says about her. You can bring it back to me.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading the comments.
I know.
Like, first of all, props to the biggest female
Yeah,
in
she's doing it.
the community.
The online cannabis content community. I can't think of, there's some others, but she's been doing it the longest. She's the biggest. There's others for sure, but man, I tell you, she's doing it and she's doing it well. And I'm very proud of her. And I hope if she sees this, girl, I want to have you on the show. I want to talk to you. I want to talk about what just dig into the mind of what it takes to just be a powerhouse in our space. And so, needless to say, I just wanted to show you guys that content because, dude, I think that's pretty damn awesome. I could, for the record, untrained astronaut, I could never do that either, bro. I could never do that, dude. I saw you swinging in. I saw you, Hanson. Good to see you, brother.
I wanted this.
I couldn't do it, man.
Says,
I couldn't do it.
Women smoking is so disgusting. Why? Why is that any different than a guy doing it?
Right? It's because it's a girl, I guess. Girls are supposed to be pretty and stuff.
She is pretty, and
I know. She's
freaking
beautiful.
amazing for doing that.
Yeah. I think it's very cool, and I do actually think there's some. I think actually Mrs. P is kind of right. I think if a dude did it, I think it'd be like, got it.
Right?
Let's fucking go, bro. Because actually, there's actually more evidence. There's another slide I have here. There's another girl that uses cannabis for her. She has some neurological issue, if I'm not mistaken. I want to give respect.
And endometriosis.
Endometriosis.
Did you say neurological?
I don't fucking know, dear.
Oh my God. To any women in the chat, I apologize for him.
Come on, it's a girl problem.
It is a girl problem. It's not neurological.
Of course it's neurological.
It's extremely painful.
Okay.
So to anyone that suffers from it, I feel you.
Mhm.
And good for this girl.
Girl stuff, and I don't get it.
Well, you should.
Like fucking maxi pads. Okay, so so this is literally someone comment. She's a functioning drug addict. And this is just a video of her through her day using edibles and what have you. And
that is a stack.
Yeah. Yeah. And she uses it and it looks like she has a glamorous day and she
10
So it's
edibles.
So it's at least 100 milligrams here in Canada.
Oh yeah, because
10 milligrams each, but you can get ones with much, much more too. So, but the reality is, I think what people do on their own, I feel like shouldn't bother anybody else. Sure, you have a right to speak on it, and everybody has a right to say things, but I just feel as if power to each and power to themselves. I have a problem that we spend I feel like we spend often too much time trying to fix what other people are doing rather than worrying about what we got going on in our own. And I think that tweet by Koala is kind of, she's chilling there with her boyfriend, enjoying their quality time together, doing whatever the fuck they want, dude. Yeah. In my quality time, sometimes I was going to say some pretty crude things there and I changed my mind. Sometimes I like to shoot guns. I like to play video games, and it's like, I like to grow weed sometimes, and I get caught in the corner like, oh, shit, playing with the plants. So it's like everyone's got a thing, and if it makes you happy, I think it was Tupac that said that. Yeah. Let her rip, baby. Let her rip. Shout out to Koal.
Scott said, would it be cool if she was your daughter? If she was a grown adult? Hell yes.
And Koala is a grown adult.
I would be sitting right beside her, cheering her on.
100%. I'd rather be right there with my daughter, enjoying what makes her happy, than being somewhere else judgmental of her.
Yep.
Can surround my family with love.
And I want you, our son talks about wanting to be an online persona when he grows up all the time. And it's not something that we encourage, although it is something that we would understand.
It was Pac.
What?
It was Pac.
It was Pac. It's one of those, once he's an adult and he wants to make those decisions, who are we to stand in his way? If he's not doing anything illegal or to harm anyone.
Jester's like, you would, Mrs. P. You'd be like, yeah, you got to show your dad this.
Yeah. Teach your dad how to do that shit.
Yeah. 100%. So shout out to Koala. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Is it excessive? Yes.
Sure.
Of course it is. Who needs to do a dab from their nose? But why not? Maybe something's wrong. I know there's nothing. But let's say if there was something wrong with her throat. I guess it all leads to the same spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she's got a molar. It hurts. I know she doesn't. It doesn't matter.
And did we not glamorize what's the other dude? The 1 gram dabs.
Oh, well, there's Harry Dabs, but there was Jolioli. You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We glamorized the crap out of him.
No, I still think it was retarded.
Oh,
However,
I do too. But people watched it.
Let him do his own thing.
Yeah.
I tried the 1 gram dab one
God, I remember
time,
that.
and that was good for me.
Oh
that was
my
good
God.
for me.
I remember sitting and watching you do that.
Can't knock it till you tried it.
Why are we doing this?
Oh, Astra's right. Can't knock it till you tried it. You're kind of onto something, dude. Except the only 2 things I don't like in life, in regards to food, are 2 things I've never tried before. Blue cheese, never tried it, won't even. And tapioca pudding.
But tapioca, you thought for a long time was fish eggs.
That's
so
right. That's
maybe
why I
you
won't
would
do it.
try it now, knowing that it's not.
No, it's
No?
gross. It's nasty.
It's not.
It's nasty.
I used to eat it at my grandparents' house all the time because that's all they had.
Yeah. Never had either of those items. Never even smelt them. Never even tasted them. Never one time. Hate them.
You don't like cottage cheese either.
Hate them.
And you've tried it.
I don't like cottage cheese because it's cottage cheese.
Elaborate, please. What does that mean? Like texture-wise?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a texture thing.
Yeah, it's just nasty. It's like a whole bunch of curds in your mouth. Ugh. Can we stop?
But
This is gross.
you'll eat poutine with cheese curds.
Oh, poutine. Let's go. Those are real curds, though. Those are curds for men.
They're dry curds.
Those are curds for men.
Cottage cheese isn't dry curds, so that's the difference.
Cottage cheese. Go ahead, be honest. Who eats cottage cheese out of the container? You can be honest with me.
100%.
Yeah, you can be honest. Mrs. P, guess what happened to me while I was sitting here?
What? You ran out of your drink? So did I.
I can't believe that. And Little P should be in bed.
Yes.
Little P should be in bed because he ain't feeling well. No. Because it's spring break up here in Canada, and Little P's been staying up pretty late. And I've allowed it. Oh, smoke that like button. Thank you, Vinny. Appreciate that, man. Bob, thanks for stopping in. Tony Snow, let's go. Tasty Genetics, are you ready? Pigeons, IR, the dad. Pigeons is the dad. I had cottage cheese with strawberries tonight, actually. That's serial killer shit, Cannabis. That's serial killer shit, dude. Cottage cheese and strawberries, dude. Oh, that's funny. That's too funny. You guys are animals. I appreciate you. Cottage cheese and blueberries. Oh, John Lindsay. Oh, who's eating cottage cheese and blueberries? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And peaches. Georgia. Yeah, okay. Cottage cheese and peaches. Get out of here. I love peaches. You know, I could probably be swayed. But blue cheese and tapioca pudding ain't no thing, baby. Ain't no thing. Mrs. P's not here. Okay. So I can't throw links down. But don't forget, you can follow me at Pigeons420 over on Twitch. Okay. At Pigeons420 over on Instagram. Hit the follow, guys. I show my garden over on Twitch and Instagram. I do not show my garden over on YouTube anymore. I do have a grow channel, actually. I really do. Mrs. P's not here to show you the link because she's doing very important things right now. But I do have a grow channel. It's the Pigeons Grow Show. So check that out. And it's got a new video. I've been working on something over the course of the last couple months, in fact. But I haven't actually started editing it in terms of like the last couple weeks. But it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I got a lot of documentation I want to show you guys. So that's going to drop on the Grow channel. Okay. I'd rather eat bar shot. Cottage cheese and peaches is great. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Yo, P, snip up. Yo, the P. Tapioca is okay. Blue cheese, amazing. With mango, habanero, boneless wings. Follow that up with a nice mango flavored smoke, and you're good to go. I don't know, friend. There's just some things in life I put my foot down. I just put my foot down. And blue cheese. Blue cheese and tapioca pudding.
To be fair, I have also never tried blue cheese. I would like to, but it makes me nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
I've heard it's really good with like buffalo wings.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard that too, but I would not even do that. Why would I ruin good wings? But, ladies and gentlemen, now that Mrs. P is back, we can...
Move on.
Move on. So, I got another story for you, ladies and gentlemen. I was going through my Instagrams, and I ran into a post by First Smoke of the Day. They reposted a post by Mrs. P, if you mind.
Is it the packaging?
The packages.
Yeah.
By Bobby Blaze, who's living the good life, this guy. So, watch this video, and I want to ask at the end, do you think... Oh, it doesn't need to be much louder than that. Do you think... It might, but do you think packaging for cannabis has gone a little over the top? What do you think?
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm a little overstimulated today. This shit's kind of getting out of hand. So I ain't really got too fucking tray, lemon cherry pepper. What the fuck is going on? I fuck with this. There was a lot of controversy over this drop just because I guess there was a lot of brands that didn't really give their say-so as far as like letting them put their shit up here, but I mean, it's a thin line. It's a thin line, neither here nor there. Dope drop, all the same. My good brother at Power Plant came through with the 5 bait plant drop. And
his caption turned down just a little bit.
Little mini big package.
His caption is no way. I just got a whole board game with my za. And he's kind of showcasing each and every box that he's getting. And it's like, can you believe that this is packaging, dude? This is weed packaging. Every single one of these is weed packaging.
I think that's dope.
I agree. I really agree.
I love the bright colors and the eye-catching animations and stuff that they use in packaging. I know you could argue that it's geared towards children, whatever, but like,
you know, that's a valid statement. That's a valid statement. Somebody, I believe it was Adam Ill. I'm going to take his opinion on this one because I'll give credit where credit's due. He said that if you look at the packaging that they're actually appealing to, all of this stuff is like a lot of the brands that they're copying are 90s and 2000s brands.
Right. They're appealing to our childhood.
They're appealing to the children in us.
Yeah.
Not
Guess
to
Who?
our kids. What a fucking no kid's gonna grab a Guess Who game?
No.
Come on. I'll be honest though, I have respect for those that come up with original packaging. Those that are coming up with that colorful, vibrant, bright, beautiful, bold content that just jumps out at you.
Swank.
That's the packaging I love, and I could get behind that. The ones that are just cheap knockoffs of like Skittles packages, or I've seen Captain Crunch or Nintendo, or just the brands that are not original and brands that are just stealing essentially the property of another brand. That's really it. And it's only a matter of time before those brands come crushing down on them and they lose way more than they ever had. I don't know why you would pick the biggest brands in the game to copy, but for those that are coming up with original branding, I'm actually all for it. I love it. I like it. I want some more of it. The problem that you have is that the packaging is making up for the shitty weed.
Yeah.
The weed is mids. It's not very good. It's nasty, nasty weed. And the reality is like, I feel like the more bold the packaging is, the worse the weed is. That's kind of the analogy that I have in mind. So it's kind of it's a catch-22. It's like, oh, that looks really nice. But is it like a Dan Balzerian weed where it's just funded but has no backbone, has no real substance, and nobody can grow weed? That's my question. That's my question. But the original packaging, I'm down for it. I love it. I want to see more of it. If that's what it takes to sell product, fantastic. When you walk into a liquor store, how often, Mrs. P's guilty, and I know
100%.
I am, how often you walk into a liquor store and you're like, oh, I love that bottle. Oh my God, that's probably the most generic vodka, that whatever, but look at the bottle.
I have drank some bottom shelf shit because it came in a nice bottle. And I suffer through it because I spent a lot of money on it.
And you end up keeping the bottle.
I always keep the bottle.
Yeah, we like you eventually get rid of it, but it's like you hang on to the bottle. It's a showpiece, right? So it's like, come on. I'm all for it. I think if consenting adults want to participate in a market that promotes this kind of shit, who are we to say otherwise?
I think it goes back to like pre-legalization. You got it in tinfoil or a Ziploc bag.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, let's have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it flashy and fun and bright and something cheerful and positive.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think, personally, I think that's what it's about. I don't think it's about trying to market to the wrong demographic. I think you said it. It's marketing to
the child in us.
The child in us.
Yep.
And the people who were forced to, you know, go grab that little tinfoil ball from the guy down the street.
Grab the tinfoil out of your cigarette pack.
Yeah.
And then wrap up your weed and throw your weed in your cigarette pack.
Right.
Dude, do you have a tinfoil from your cigarettes, dude?
I think that's what it's about. And again, the positivity, the brightness in the world. The world is a crazy place. Let's add a little color.
Yep.
That's all.
I agree. I think it's well said. Well said. Yeah. I think we've come so far. But don't get me wrong. There's nothing. Shout out to all those plastic bag, sandwich bag weed dealers out there, dude. Because I'm telling you, some of the best weed I ever had came out of a sandwich bag. Okay? So it's like packaging doesn't mean everything. But remember, like I always remember this too when it comes to charitable institutions, charitable organizations. Be careful who you donate your money to. When you look at these big organizations, and I'm probably going to get the wrong name for the wrong one, so I'm not going to say any of them because I don't want to get sued. But you look at these big charitable organizations, and it's feed this kid in this country for less than a coffee. This is a long time ago. I'm dating myself. But it's like, after your donation, we're going to send you a shirt of your child and a logo. It says, #1 donator, and we're gonna send you a mug. That mug's gonna have a logo on that says that you're a #1 donator. But guess what? We're also gonna send you a postcard with a picture of who you're helping on there, with a little extra smile and a bow. Well, guess what? That shit costs money, yo. You just donated $3, but the package you received in the mail cost $15. So what? That's how I feel like this weed thing is. It's like the shinier the package, careful, because they've got a huge budget for the packaging, but do they have any budget for how to grow it? So you got to watch out for those kind of things.
No, and I agree with Tasty. Tasty said, packaging is fun if it does not affect the product and its price. 100%. 100%. In some of these packages, this guy is getting like little stuffed animals or stuffed plushy things or whatever. It's like, yeah, you are probably paying a little more for that, which is unfortunate. But
how much more though?
How much more?
Because like there's not to cut you off. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
There is a market for collectibles.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Are they something that you can use or that you're gonna keep? If it's just gonna go in the garbage, then no, 100% don't buy it. Buy the cheaper bag that has no picture on it and doesn't come with anything. But
yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yep. So just be aware as a consumer, though. Just know that the flashy shit doesn't always mean. We do the same thing with nutrients, right? In our growing space, you get the bottles that have all the pretty pictures on them and all the pretty ladies, and it's like, is that the same? Is that worth paying the price for those items? Or can I get something a little more generic that costs a little better or a little less? I think the answer is yes in that case, right? Because in my opinion, it's, nitrogen is nitrogen is nitrogen and nutrients are nutrients. It's just a matter of where are they sourced and what proprietary method are they trying to sell you. But of course, marketing exists. That's why we have Stash Nutrients. Ladies and gentlemen, get the latest and greatest in dry amendment, all natural nutrients. Oh, go to stashnutrients.com, guys. Now available. Make sure you go and check that out. It's changed my life, fixed my marriage, and it can help yours as well. Go to stashnutrients.com. Presented by myself, Rob, and Chris, and Nate from Grower's House. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
I also
This just in for legal team, our Stash Nutrients may or will not help your fix your marriage.
I also enjoy Scott's comment. I may have died a few times myself from alcohol poisoning before I was even 21. You and every Canadian that grew up in the early 2000s.
Yes.
There's definitely a few fields, bonfires. Not really sure how the night ended or how I got home.
No.
Sometimes you didn't get home. Sometimes you just slept in the field.
That was it.
Next to a cow.
That's it. Yep. Yeah. Who's ever gone cow tipping?
Is that a Canadian thing?
I think no.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a pretty unanimous cow thing.
You think so?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people haven't heard of it or don't believe it's a thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I don't believe it's a thing either.
Oh, the AI even says cow tipping is a widely recognized urban legend and myth involving sneaking up on a standing or sleeping cow and pushing it over for amusement. It is considered physically impossible because cows do not sleep standing up, are too heavy, and are very light sleepers. As someone who has legitimately done this,
Tip the cow?
yes. I had friends who owned a farm. Not all cows sleep standing up. I will give you that. Most of them do not, but some of them do. And if you are very quiet and you sneak up beside them, not behind them, because they'll kick you and you'll regret your life, you can knock them over because they're so out of it that they don't have balance. It is a thing.
Welcome to the world of ag, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the world of ag. Couple bullet points, ladies and gentlemen. Couple bullet items I wanted to toss at you. I didn't want to report on this one at first because it doesn't seem legitimate enough to me. However, I found the study and I did want to mention on this. I've tipped a cow. Okay, can I just be honest here? Hold on 1 second. Look at this. Don't do anything, mods. Look at this. Look at this. I tipped a cow needs to be reviewed. It needs to be reviewed.
What?
Okay?
What does it think tipping a cow means?
I just want to be honest that when you guys leave comments in the chat, okay, and I don't chew. I have zero. Okay, you can't say the words. You can in a live stream actually, but you can't in the comments of my videos. You can't say things like giveaway. You can't say things like prize because it'll hide your comment. All that shit is. I did it on purpose. No, I did that because that's the best way to prevent scams in my chat or in the comment section where people are like, oh, join this giveaway or whatever. I ban all those words. Look at this, even this one, Wizard. Are the strip clubs that bad? The censorships are just tough. And so if you wonder why your comments being held, 99% of the time, the comments for the mods that are in the chat, please let those go through. If you can do that and let those go through. And if you wouldn't mind, Mrs. P, can you Tasty Genetics needs a mod?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody who's not getting one. I just Chad Westmore is in the house. You handsome devil. Can he have one too, please?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. There you go, Tasty. Boom. Did you say giveaway? Chad Westmore. Cheers. Shout out to Chad. So I wanted to get into a few. I don't think there's like a single mod in the chat like at all on YouTube. They're all on Twitch right now.
Brina was here from.
I know, but she'll be on Twitch because it's cooler over there for sure.
There were a couple, but I think they're all.
It's okay. No, it's okay. So what do you think, Mrs. P, if you're going to go to a dispo, if you're going green, bring your own jar, do away with packaging, go green? Oh. What do you think, Mrs. P? If you're going to go to a dispo, if you're going to go green, bring your own jar. Do away with packaging. Just go green.
100% I could get on board with that. Our packaging up here sucks. So I feel like that's not even like a fair conversation. Our packaging is very bland. It's very plain. It's got warnings all over it. It's like our cigarettes up here. If you guys have ever seen Canadian cigarettes, it's horrible. There's gross medical pictures of cancerous lungs and dying babies, and it's horrible. It's horrible. It's a great way to turn people off. You guys in the States have all of the fun, vibrant packaging. But I could 100% get on board with, if you choose to go green, bring your own, great. We have to do that with grocery bags here in Canada because they will no longer allow us to use plastic. So yeah, I could get on board with that. As long as it's a choice and you don't have to bring your own.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine bringing a bottle to a liquor store and be like, fill this?
There are like breweries.
Why not?
You can at breweries.
How's that feel? Look at you guys in blue. So yes. So I'm down. I really don't care as long as I like what whoever said doesn't have a taste yet. It doesn't have an impact on the product.
The product.
I think that's huge.
Yep.
Yep. Couple bullet points. So needless to say, I was talking about a study that's been going around that I've been seeing more and more of, and I wanted to discuss this because I think we need to. Check this out. Huge. Already problematic when it says huge. But anyways, huge study finds no evidence cannabis helps anxiety, depression, or PTSD. Now, this is from Science Daily. And I'll be honest with you, when I read titles and when I hear emotionally charged, the word huge really turned me off. And a lot of this coverage on this story has been emotionally charged. That's why I kind of veered away from it. But I still think it's important that we have these conversations because there's the good, the bad, and the ugly, and it's important we talk about it. Summary. The largest review. So it is the largest review, and I have read this already. The largest review. So is it huge? I think they could have started with that. The largest review of medicinal cannabis to date found it does not effectively treat anxiety, depression, or PTSD, despite millions using it for those reasons. Researchers warned it could even make mental health worse, raising risks like psychosis and addiction while delaying proven treatments. Some limited benefits were seen for conditions like insomnia and autism, but the evidence is weak. The findings are fueling calls for stricter oversight as cannabis use continues to rise. Now, this is can we get a little bit farther down? A major paper published in the Lancet reports that medicinal cannabis does not effectively treat anxiety, depression, or post-traumatic stress disorder. The analysis is the largest to date, examining both the safety and effectiveness of cannabinoids across a wide range of mental health conditions. These findings arrive at a time when cannabis use for medicinal purposes is widespread. About 27% of people aged 16 to 65 in the United States and Canada report using cannabis medicinally, and roughly half of them say they use it to manage mental health symptoms. Led by Dr. Jack Wilson from the University of Sydney's Matilda Center, said the results raise serious questions about approving medicinal cannabis for conditions like anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Quote, though our paper didn't specifically look at this, the routine use of medicinal cannabis could be doing more harm than good by worsening mental health outcomes. For example, a greater risk of psychotic symptoms and developing cannabis use disorder and delaying the use of more effective treatments, he said. So already in this paper, or in this very short summary, I have found a lot of emotionally charged, almost propagandic information. Right off the bat, they're telling you this is the largest study that essentially disproves the use of cannabis for anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Despite the fact, Ms. P, can you look at how many people were used in this study? Despite the fact that, quote, millions are using it to combat these very same symptoms or these very same ailments. To me, right off the bat, that's problematic. Because what study would be larger than millions of people using cannabis for those particular ailments? Sure, you had a study that had 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, a million. There's millions of people using cannabis for anxiety, depression, and PTSD. On what scientific grounds Could you with confidence say that cannabis use, although not looked at, could still be responsible for increased mental health issues? Am I the only one that's seeing such a crazy spin on such simple facts? You haven't even provided me with the facts yet. You haven't even said anything in regards to X number of people said that they felt this from that. No, so much emotion is pumped into the first. How far do we need to read? How far are people going into this? Do I need to read the entire study? Of course you do. Why? Because there's only one way to kind of determine what issues fall with their own fucking study. It's so frustrating. This is pure propaganda at its fullest. Because why should we believe millions of people? So what? What's the alternative then? These few scientists that did a test on how many people?
The very last part of the article just says the findings are based on a systemic review and meta-analysis of 54 randomized controlled trials conducted worldwide over a 45-year period from 1980 to 2025.
How many? 54?
54 randomized control trials, but it doesn't say how many people were in those trials. Could just be 54 people. Could be 54 trials of 10,000 people.
So it's just it is so frustrating to think that this is the push. And I told you I did not want to cover this for this. There's no story here. There is no story in before they told you about the study themselves, the actual substance of the study. And we read the summary. The substance they already talked about psychosis. They were already talking about mental health disorder increase. This is propaganda at its finest, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit, and it's so frustrating to see this kind of information just perpetuated. Then, if I may, try to pick apart the frickin' study itself. What kind of weed was used? Where did you source your product from?
How did you ingest it?
How did they ingest it? Was it farmed locally? Was it farmed through an operation? Was it farmed internationally? Was it, where'd you get your stuff from Canada? Did you get it from Mexico? Was it federally grown? Was it high in THC? Was it low in THC? Did it have a ton of other cannabinoids? I have so many questions.
Did the test subjects already have psychotic tendencies?
Right.
That's huge too.
Right. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage.
As somebody that's used it for my anxiety and depression, I can say without certainty, it helps. It manages the symptoms as long as it's the right, like you said, strain, dose, whatever. There are definitely ones out there that make it exacerbated, but for the most part, it does manage them, and it quiets. Pardon my use of this phrase. It's what my mom and I always used to say. It quiets the voices in your head. When you're an anxious person, you constantly have that little voice in your head telling you all of the crazy things that could go wrong. And it helps to just shut it up. It helps you sleep at night. It helps you to relax.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does. I used it for...
These 54 people would tell you otherwise.
Screw them.
No, I don't want to take anything from you. You're right.
The people that need it and that do use it and that do find that it helps, I feel like are going to suffer from these kinds of tests, these kinds of researches, these kinds of articles, because it just diminishes the fact that it does work for some people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But according to this study, millions of people are wrong about that.
That's crazy.
So explain. Don't explain. I just don't understand. But what I'll tell you right now is the Science Daily just dropped significantly down in their reputation of legitimately unbiased scientific information. Default said it doesn't read like science. And that's where I'm at. This is not the facts presented to me in an unbiased manner. That's it's biased, it's opinion, it's fueled, it's charged, it's emotional, and then there's facts. And I don't like that. I don't like that. So I disregard this study 100. At least the presentation and the narrative 100%. Is there facts from the study that could be found? Perhaps, but I would have to look extensively at that study to determine otherwise. 54 people paid off by big alcohol. Yeah. Yep.
It bothers me too that it doesn't state, because typically when we look at these kinds of articles, it states how many individuals were in each test, what age ranges, what demographics, like all of those things.
Yep.
This is so vague.
The Science Daily. I know we've used this website as a reference before.
Absolutely we have. Because you'd think that it would be a good source.
Yep. So, needless to say, that's my opinion, and I'm curious what you think, because this is not a one-way street of conversation. I'm the one with the microphone, but you guys are the power with the comments. You are the community. You are the flock. We fly together. And we're going to disagree and we're going to agree. And sometimes, and it's like, I say this a lot, but I really appreciate when you guys voice your opinions. Okay. I really, really do. This is 100 proof rum. I can feel it in my lips.
I told you not to buy the strong stuff.
I can feel it in my lips. I can feel it in my lips. If you guys are watching on Twitch tonight, immediately following the show, in a stumbled fashion, I am going to try to transition between the Tea with P show. It's a weird thing to say. It's just a podcast. It's crazy to even call it a podcast. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. We're going to transition from this over to Twitch, where I, who am role-playing as a cop. Yes. Can you throw the link to Twitch, Mrs. P? I'm role-playing as a cop. Yep. A cop who does not do marijuana, quote unquote. Okay, he takes all of the things the mainstream media has taught him. He pumps it in the game. Okay, it's bad for your teeth. Okay, makes you short. Okay, you'll love this. And I bust criminals with weed all the time because all the criminals love their weed. And if you enjoy this tonight, McCracken, who is my character, is no longer going to be a cadet. I hope. Hopefully I'm not too intoxicated that I can't do the most basic of basic. However, I'm a cop that drinks and smokes.
So you're a cop.
I'm a cop. Come hang out, guys. Because immediately following this, I think I'm going into my training where I can lose the gloves and I can patrol on the street all by myself. Bring it on, man. Bring it on. Has there been any activity on Twitch that I've missed that I need to shout out, Miss B?
Oh, honestly, I haven't been keeping track of that one as much.
Yep, very important.
Because it confuses
Very
me.
important. But if I missed it, I will certainly shout it out when I get there.
You have a few new followers.
Oh, shout out to the new followers.
Will Smith's hairline followed you.
Will Smith's hairline. Shout out to Will Smith's hairline. Follow me on Twitch. That's too funny. What game is it? Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto role play. And I role play as a cop. Straight and narrow, to the point, cop. And I love, yeah, and I love it. Yeah, it's a good time. Mm-hmm. This is him. Yep. Much different, a little more firm. Yes, sounds the same, but does no fuckery.
I enjoyed your other character.
Hey, Doug?
I liked Doug.
Doug was a good time, Sometimes we would have a good time. We would get a little bit dirty. We would have a little bit driving time. We would get a little bit wobbly pop, But now,
the French
he's
Mexican.
not here. He's gone now. He's gone a long time. He tried to be a cop, but he got fired. Now he's got a little bit of, some kind of disdain for law enforcement. Eh? He might come out sometime, He will be back. He will be back. I tried to work here, and now I need to make sure everybody pay. So, any goose.
To those who have never met Doug the French Mexican, that was him.
That was him. Anyways, it's embarrassing. But you can follow me on Twitch where I do that shit all the time. We get high. We have a good time. It's great. And immediately after this show, the after show begins. Okay. So in about 15 minutes, we're going to the smoke show over on Twitch. So please come on over there and come hang. It's going to be a good time. Shout out to everybody who hit that follow button, man. You're going to enjoy yourself. So picture this. I got 2 stories in one real quick. We're going to fire action here at you. 2 stories in one. Picture this. You're doing time. You're in the pen. You better call Saul. Okay? Saul pulls up. Sits down at the interview table where you guys can have your mano a mano in the search of a guard. What do you think as soon as you open your briefcase? What does Saul have inside for you? What does Saul have inside? Flock, go. What's in Saul's briefcase? What's in Saul's briefcase? What's in Saul's briefcase? You're doing time, okay? Okay? What's in Saul's briefcase? What do you think? He's bringing you something. What's in there, dude? He's bringing you, what's he in there? He's bringing you something. Guess what? In Winnipeg, Manitoba, Winnipeg defense lawyer accused of smuggling cannabis into Headley jail.
Headingley.
Oh, what'd I say?
Headley.
Headingley. Okay? This is the jail that's relatively close to me. It's like fucking 3+ hours away, but it's there.
Maximum security.
Maximum. Dun, dun, dun. Chad Sutherland also charged with attempting to get a restricted gun, RCMP say. A Winnipeg defense lawyer, already suspended by the Manitoba Law Society for professional misconduct, has now been charged with conspiracy to smuggle cannabis into a jail west of Winnipeg. Chad Sutherland, 43, was arrested March 27th following a year-long investigation, according to the RCMP. Dun, dun, dun. I don't need to read all that. Okay. Crazy to think you've got a lawyer smuggling weed. But why did I say this is 2 stories in one? Because I can almost get behind that, but what I can't get behind is this. Manitoba teacher, this is the same province, for those that don't know, this is my home. Manitoba teacher who gave alcohol, cannabis, and high school student stripped. Sorry. Let me say that like a human being. Manitoba school teacher who gave alcohol and cannabis to high school student stripped of certificates. Now, granted, if they added another comma, that would have been fantastic. However, I can get behind a lawyer bringing a what do you call it? Jailee. A prisoner?
Yeah.
Weed? But what I cannot get behind is a teacher providing alcohol and cannabis to a high school student. Absolutely not on any level. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Okay? Society needs role models, and we cannot accept this kind of attitude. I don't care. Now, I'm willing to hear otherwise, but a Manitoba teacher has been stripped of his teaching certification. Is that the right way to say that? Certifications. Certificate. I knew that was wrong. All right. The rum's hitting. The certifications after admitting to meeting up with a high school student late last year and giving them alcohol and cannabis. David Duke. No way. David Duke. Isn't that the name of the dude who started the KKK?
What?
100%. Google that name. David Duke, who had been a teacher at Frontier School Division, used social media to communicate with an underage high school student in September of 2025, according to a conflict resolution agreement with Manitoba's Commissioner of Teacher Professional Conduct dated March 16th. Duke, is it?
American former politician, white supremacist, neo-Nazi conspiracy.
What a horrible name to have.
And former Grand Wizard of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan.
Okay, he's not the founder. He's a Grand Wizard.
Wow.
But anyways, okay.
That's an unfortunate
name. Your parents hated you. Duke, and hey, all my racists out there, hey, I apologize if you're offended by that. David Duke, who has been a teacher at Frontier School Division, I read that. You're right. David Duke admitted to meeting with a student at pre-arranged locations. I don't want to read this. This is fucking sick, and we should hang him.
Don't say that.
If this is going to go into a teacher that coerced an underage student to do these kind of things, this is predator style, and there's only one way to deal with those kind of people. And if that's an opinion that we need to talk about, then maybe we need to talk about. However, I cannot get behind the sale and distribution of products from an adult to a minor. Okay, I really can't. I will not be someone who judges what happens in one's family. Okay, if there's, I don't care. Okay, what happens in one family is for me not to judge. Okay, but a high school student providing drugs, that includes alcohol and weed, drugs, to a minor, specifically a student? No, absolutely not.
Okay, I'm gonna be devil's avocado.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead. Yep.
So only because we
need a devil's avocado.
I continued to read the article.
Go ahead.
At
you did.
no point in this article does it say how old the student is.
High school student, under 18.
Not necessarily. I turned
Pretty close.
I turned 18 my grade 12 year.
Grade 12.
As did most of my classmates.
Statistically.
Fair. I'm just saying.
Okay, fair.
It also says that he
know.
retired in 2025. So he was not an active teacher at the time.
But he was a teacher.
Not at the time.
But they said they're saying a teacher.
He
but he
is
wasn't
a
at the school?
retired teacher.
Oh, shit. Facts are important.
So at the time of this happening.
Hold on. Let's figure this out before all of a sudden you're like, no. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it says he communicated with an underage high school student in
full stop.
Underaged, yes. Okay. In September of 2025.
And then provided them with drugs. No. I don't know.
But he had already retired in June.
So he's not an active teacher.
He was no longer an active teacher.
So, but he could have been a substitute.
It is still possible that the child was under the age of 18. For those of you in America, 18 is the legal age in Canada.
18 is legal here. 18.
Which is my argument. Which is my only argument in this case is that maybe.
But high school, nobody in high school is 21, right?
No, but we're in Canada, so 18 is the legal age.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible that this student was 18 or close to.
Not when it said underage.
Not when it said underage, but it's possible that they were a month away from being 18, which doesn't make it any better.
No, I'm playing those games.
Doesn't make it any better.
Not playing those games. Not playing those games because in society, okay, and I want to be very clear about this because as a man raising a young boy, I want to make this very clear. In society, we've made it clear that it is a law, it is illegal for an adult to have really any relationship with a minor. Now, there is some leniency, and I want to be honest with this. If you have like a 17-year-old boy, girl, and an 18, 19 year old, okay? If they're, I don't even want to say when you've got a 17 and an 18-year-old, you've got boy and girl, you've got a sticky situation there. That is
16 is the age of consent.
After that is statutory rape.
Younger than that, it's statutory rape.
No, between 16 and 18 is statutory rape because they're not a minor and they can't consent to that. So it's statutory rape. And
I thought it was the other way around.
No.
My bad.
So let me be honest. So I'm not talking about teen love, okay? Because there is an argument that I think is valid between teens that are growing up, but I think I'm going to be very honest with my young man son. When he turns 18, and I think statistically you typically date a younger woman, I'm going to be very clear with him that in society, when you are 18, it is forbidden to have a relationship with someone who is under 18. Okay, that's just the way it is. You can hate your dad for that, but I didn't make this rule. Okay, that's just the way it is. Okay, so I don't know why we're spending too much time on this, but this is the thing is we need to teach our young men. We need to teach men that there are rules, guidance. We need to avoid distraction and all that shit. Okay, but immediately we're talking about an adult and a minor, so that's all out the window. That's all out the window. I don't have time for this conversation because it's just like, no, we need role models in life and adults supply. I just don't think this is disgusting. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. I do, but I don't.
You never asked your high school teacher to buy you beer outside the liquor store when you were 16?
No, never one time. We bought our own beer.
Okay, damn, sorry, I did.
Not even one time.
Small town.
Not even one time. I never met with them.
They never did.
I never met with them. They never reached out to me on social media. No, there was a clear teacher-student relationship boundaries
As there should be.
that I would never consider. I remember I called a teacher one time. It was my math teacher because he and I had a disagreement in class, and I looked in the phone book and I found his name, and I wanted to apologize because I felt bad the way I had handled myself, and I wanted to apologize. And I knew that he was freaked out by that. But there has to be those boundaries. Oh, it's called Romeo and Juliet laws exist for this reason. Wizard, that's a very good point.
Do we have that in Canada, though? I don't know that we do.
I don't know. I think P's wrong. Please elaborate, Deadhead. Please elaborate. I want you to know that in life there's been I can't imagine where in this I'm wrong, so I really want you to elaborate, please. But I know in life I have been wrong. There's very core principles that I now hold that I did not have 5, 10, 15 years ago because nobody challenged my thought. I thought I knew things, and I thought I was very confident on what I knew. And then when somebody had explained it to me, I realized I didn't know anything. And in fact, I was 100% wrong. I was. And now I hold the opposite view strongly. Okay? So this is why it's okay to disagree.
Okay, so in Canada, the Romeo and Juliet law is defined as a law that close in age exception allows young people of a similar age to engage in close relationships. Under this rule, 14 and 15-year-olds can legally have sexual relations with partners up to 5 years older.
15, 20?
Yeah. That's the Canadian definition.
Holy shit, that's wrong. I don't like it. I think you're right. Okay, I'm wrong, and I just disagree with the law then.
So the department...
High school student is weird because there's multiple age groups socializing, it's mingling. Okay, but I'm not talking about minors. So are we talking... No. I will make sure that my son fully understands that it is forbidden that at grade 12, he cannot legally date someone who's in grade 9. I know. Okay, if he's 17, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think it's wrong.
I think it's
a
little bit of case by case.
I guess it's case by case, and these are things I've never asked myself before. It's easy to take these stances on things I've never thought about.
We briefly had that conversation with him the other day when I found out he was Snapchatting with one of his friend's older sisters, who's 18, and I went, dude, be careful. Because that's not okay. He's like, it's not like that, Mom.
I do not think. Wow, it said that. There's no...
Okay, so the Department of Justice of Canada goes on to break it down, and it says ages 14 to 15 can consent to sexual activity with someone...
I disagree. You need parents in your life. But we were that age. Anyways, go ahead.
Can consent to sexual activity with someone less than 5 years older. Ages 12 to 13 can consent to sexual activity with someone less than 2 years older, and under 12 cannot legally consent to sexual activity. I disagree with all of that wholeheartly. I don't think that you can consent under the age of 16 at the very youngest.
You shouldn't be having Jesus. I'm such a conservative in this regard. I don't think you should be having sex before you're 18, and that's just the way it is. And it's a stance I believe in now that I don't think I necessarily agreed with when I was young.
Oh, I definitely didn't agree with any of this when I was a kid.
But it's like I feel that we get older and we establish values for a reason, and this is why we try to teach our children to be better than we are. So, I guess. Can we hold everybody to that standard? I don't think so, but I cannot see a world where I would agree with a 15 and a 20-year-old.
No. I noticed...
I can't see it, and I don't want to. I disagree with it, and I don't think there's a world where I could have that conversation to think, well, 15 and 20, well, they started in grade 9 and grade 12. There's 4 years, and they were young, and Nope. No, where was that grade 12's father? That's what I want to know. Where was that grade 12's father?
I think some of it
Wasn't present.
Some of my
I would wager.
Some of my feeling about it too is that, and I know we've talked about this a lot, that kids and teenagers today are not as mature as kids and teenagers of a generation ago or our generation, right? Kids today can't take care of themselves at 14, 15, 16 years old, whereas we were working part-time jobs, running the household, taking care of things at home while our parents worked. We were essentially parenting ourselves at that point. And we had the ability to do that. These kids can't barely find their own socks in the morning. So I feel like that's a difference too, is like,
yeah. And you know what? Night of the Living Soil says my 6th grade class had enough pregnant girls that they had their own classroom so they could feed and change them as needed.
oh my God.
You can tell them no, but if they're determined, yeah, but were these babies from older people, older men?
Or
I don't
were
know.
they teenage dads too?
Or teenage dads. Then I think you have a family problem. You have a dad problem. You don't have dads in homes today. That's the biggest thing, is you don't have dads teaching kids. And we had that. We've had it in the past, shout out to all my fellow men out there raised by women. It damaged a lot of us. And so here we are trying to fill the gaps. But the reality is that I feel as if we need men in these homes. Put some men in these homes, man. You need not just men, you need women too, but we have a lot of men being raised by women. We need men to step up and start raising your children. Be there for your women, raise your children, keep them out of the strip clubs, keep them out of jail. And we need both parents, of course, video. I want to be clear here, video, as you said that. We need both parents. Women are already there. Okay, women, there's already a biological attachment from a woman who has a thing in her and then delivers it. It's a lot harder for a woman to get away than it is for a man to get away. Statistically, there's far less men in the homes than there are women. So that's why I say, men, raise your families. Women are already doing it. We have like I said, we have an entire generation of men raised by women. Okay, we need men in homes. That's the fix.
Miracle Edge says that's why we have sex education and we preach safe sex. If you avoid those conversations, that's how you end up with a classroom full of pregnant girls. Yes. However, I will caveat that with my sex ed class in high school, which did not start until grade 10, when most of us were already past needing that conversation, was taught by our phys ed teacher, who taught us that 2 condoms were better than 1. And that women shouldn't leave the house when menstruating. Do you know how many pregnant teenagers there were in my class? Only 2, surprisingly. But when your entire class of teenagers knows more about it than the person teaching it, that's a problem.
Okay. Well, aside from women not leaving the house when they menstruate, because I can almost get behind that one. The 2 condom. I'm just kidding. The 2 condoms. I'm glad that there's another woman on the show with me, and it's my wife. When I say all these very what's the word I'm looking for? Patronizing. No. Anyways, doesn't matter. Things. But anyways, in my humble opinion, sex ed doesn't deserve to be in school. Yes, there should be maybe some part of it where you talk about the anatomy and you talk about it's the biology of it, but there shouldn't be a sex ed. That's a parental thing. You should be teaching our own kids about that, and we shouldn't be passing that off to strangers.
I agree. However, devil's avocado, a lot of kids, and I say a lot because I grew up in a small town and it was not a fancy rich town. A lot of kids don't have good parents at home to teach them that stuff.
Agreed. That's why we have the biology class and you have these things. But
I feel like the biology class doesn't cover.
No, it doesn't. But
those types of scenarios,
sex values, family values are things that differ from family to family to family.
True.
And I don't appreciate when the school is trying to teach my kid about anal sex in grade 5.
Oh my God, that conversation.
I think that's unnecessary. I think the conversations I have with my son will do just fine without bringing up anal sex in grade 5.
To be fair, that that conversation with his class taught us a lot about things that are new and have changed since we were taught.
You sure? Send him to church, Duke says.
No, and I think like, so when I was in grade 11 and 12, we had like a public health nurse came in, and that was when like they hand out the condoms and they talk about like STD prevention and that kind of stuff. And I did appreciate that aspect of it a little bit more, just because it wasn't so like forced down your throat. It was like, hey, if you need somebody to talk to, this is where you go. If you have questions, this is where you go. If your parents won't talk to you about it, this is where you go. And it was just kind of like the resources are there for you kind of thing.
I came into butt stuff. Welcome to Tea with P, ladies and gentlemen, where you are not going to get anything that's off the table. We get it all, baby. We get it all.
Yeah.
I appreciate you all, ladies and gentlemen. Conservative P in the house. You know, I you know what? You know, in some things, I can't be put into a box, right? I'm a huge fan of politics. I'm a huge fan of learning the political system, learning about society. But myself, like yourself, cannot be put into a box. I have things that I am very conservative on. I'll be very honest about that. But I've also got things that I'm very liberal on. I'm very traditional in nature. But the reality is that I am me. And I am not one single category. You can't put me in a box. I am not one thing. I am many. And if I'm going to be labeled as anything, it's a father, it's a husband, it's a volunteer, and a patriot. Okay, that's what I want to be remembered as. And then from that, I want to be remembered as somebody who stood for this plant. I want to be somebody who advocated for cannabis, looked for freedom, looked for health for others. And that's what sums me up in a box. And I think that's, at the end of the day, something that we all need to think about. What sums you up in a box? You are not a single word. You are not summed down to one thing. You are you. That's important. You're unique and you're worthy. And the more we find those answers and we search for hope and we find our purpose, we can really find happiness. And I encourage you to search for happiness, because it really turns us into the best version of ourselves. And the best version of me is with you guys. So thank you. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys for supporting me and Mrs. P on our journey. For those that don't know, I'm going to be live immediately after this over on Twitch at Pigeons420. I'm going to be live. We're going to hash this out. I'm going through basic training as a cop, as a cadet, and it could be pretty hairy. It could be fun. I don't really know what's in store. Shout out to my FTO, Mr. Williams. Appreciate you, Cap.
Grotato says Canada school sounds frightening.
This is why I tried everything I could to keep my kid in private school. Guys, from grade 5 to grade 8, my son was in private school. Cost way too much, but it was worth it, because I felt like
that was where they talked about the butt stuff.
That's where they talked about the butt stuff. You're right. But I couldn't imagine what they would have talked about in public school.
Nothing.
No,
or the wrong things, anyway.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
The P doesn't want to be remembered for talking about sexual education, guys. I will be remembered for talking about everything. Nothing is off the table here, friends. Huge shout out to I Can, man. We tried out episode number 2 of the Matt and P show, and your response so far has been absolutely tremendous. Might be something that we continue, guys. So thank you so much for supporting that. That means the world. What's going to happen is I'm going to have a rip right now, a documentary style, non-glamorized, family-friendly rip. And we're going to go to the outro for the show. And that's it. We're going to go to the outro, and then we're going to immediately revert to the intro for Twitch. If you're on Twitch, you don't have to go anywhere. We're not going anywhere. If you're on YouTube, I want you to head on over to Twitch. Sooner than later, my friends. Sooner than later, because we're going to have the after show. We're going to talk about it. And, yo, Sly, thank you for the 28 months sub, dude. Appreciate you, man. Let's go. We're gonna take McCracken to the next level. Friends, I appreciate your face. Come on over to Twitch. Sundays we do wake and bakes. We check out your gardens virtually via Discord. So come check out the Discord. Come post your garden. If you're posting your garden and you're journaling your experience, we're gonna highlight those. We're gonna check those out throughout the weeks. So that's every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. The wake and bakes. All right. All right. Oh, Jester, thank you for reminding me. Have yourselves a fantastic and fabulous Easter weekend. Yes. Happy Easter to everybody. I hope you guys are going to get spoiled by the Easter Bunny. Lots of chocolates, okay? Lots of great little treats. So you're against snitching, but making friends with cops. Are you sure you're not friends with Loud Cadet Training? What the fuck? Jack Bean, that's a very fair comment, brother. You're going to have to tune into Twitch to find out, okay? Tune into Twitch to find out. Twitch.tv/pigeons420, okay? Come and hang out. We're going to be doing the after show over there. However, with that being said, my friends, I must be on my way, but I know you guys are all going to come on over to Twitch. You're going to hit that follow button because we go live every single day over there, and you're not going to want to miss out. We talk about all kinds of crazy, my friends. Thank you for being a part of Tea with P this evening, this week. Next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Central, Tea with P is live, where we're going to be talking about all things nudes, culture, science, health, you name it. Nothing is off the table, my friends, because that's just the way it is. So if there's something that I missed, Redhead, I know you mentioned might have disagreed with me. I want you to hit me up, man, dude. Or hit me up on Twitch, and I'll try to answer your questions live, man. And I want to kind of see where we disagree. Nutmeg, good to see you, homie. For those on YouTube, I want you to come join us over on Twitch. You won't be disappointed. It's a much better user experience over there, and we get high every single day. So thank you so much for those on YouTube. I'm not going to say bye to too many because I know you're all headed over there because it's going to be a great time. Thanks for tuning in to Tea with P this week, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
I can't deal, got me so pissed, and I don't know